Hawke's Green Beret Survival Manual. It was published in 2009 by the Running Press. Mykel Hawke, a former captain in the U.S. Army Special Forces and Green Beret, is the author of Hawke's Green Beret Survival Manual. He's also the director of a company called Spec Ops Incorporated, which specializes in civilian survival training. If you'd like to know more information on this author, please visit his personal website at www.mykelhawke.com. Hawke's Green Beret Survival Manual is geared towards the untrained civilian population. But the book describes that anyone with the proper attitude and knowledge of skills can and will survive some of the worst imaginable circumstances and make it out alive. Anyone who is interested in primitive survival skills and bushcraft would benefit from reading this book. It covers all the bases in terms of shelter and water, food and fire, tools and medicine, navigation and signaling, and survival psychology. As a reader, you will not likely be overwhelmed with lots of information that is too technical, because the author delivers the content in a very casual, bare-bones approach which is easily understandable for anyone. The book contains 10 chapters that span across nearly 630 pages. The beginning of the book starts with an introduction that describes the Hawke teaching methodology. This describes for the reader a little about the author's background and philosophy on different types of survival techniques, from military techniques to civilian. Each chapter's topic flows in a progression pattern, meaning that the author discusses topics in an easy first, complicated last fashion. For example, when building a fire, the author discusses all the materials needed and then goes into a discussion about cigarette lighters, then matches, then basic friction techniques, then bow drill, etc. So the flow of concepts runs from easy to increasingly difficult for almost all of the topics in the book's chapters. Each title topic inside the chapter is colored in red. This allows for easy identification. It also makes it easy to determine what topics are deemed important by the author and which ones aren't. The side of the book also has 10 red tabbed markers for each chapter in the book. This makes it easy to identify where the chapters are inside the book. Survival is 10% skills and 90% attitude. The author spends an entire chapter on the psychology of survival and how your mindset and attitude are the real weapons in surviving any situation. The author does a great job of relaying that the will to live is as important as your knowledge of survival skills. The topics in the book excel beyond the basics, and there's a lot of information in this book that is off the beaten path of your typical survival manual. For example, not just where to get water and when are you going to need it, but what happens if you don't find it, how to recognize what is happening to your body due to the lack of water, and then how to fix those problems. The author also includes a list of bug-out, first aid, and survival kit bag items that he recommends, along with the quantity and specific description of each item and why you might need it. This is especially important to accommodate all audiences. The only chapter in this book to show any additional references is the chapter on first aid. It would be nice to see references listed for all the chapters, and even if the author didn't use any additional references for his book, then perhaps a recommended or supplemental reading list for additional study would be of use to the reader. Having this book in a form that would be more conducive to the elements of nature and weatherproof would be of more use to the reader, as they could add it as a bug-out bag item or other outdoor activities. Hawke's manual could have a few more visual cues with more illustrations and photographs, especially in chapters that would benefit from such material, such as the first aid section. Having more photographs and typical examples here could mean the difference between success and failure for some readers. The readers of this book aren't expected to know anything, or be prepared, or even be super fit. In fact, the author wrote the book with the premise in mind that the user would be a non-nature-oriented person who may even be weak or deficient to begin with. Unlike a lot of typical survival books, the author doesn't assume that the reader is equipped to survive, a super fit person, or has any outdoor knowledge, making this book more applicable to anyone: kids, women, elderly, regular, everyday people. This book is packed with a wide range of topics, from the easiest to increasingly complicated structure of almost any human need. But it's still easy to read and follow by novice and experienced alike. The content is highly memorable and even enjoyable in parts, with the author's upbeat, almost humorous, never-quit approach to staying alive. This book is rather comprehensive, but could still use some supplemental resources for topics that would require some further research, such as The SAS Survival Handbook by John Lofty Wiseman, Prescription for Herbal Healing by Phyllis Balch, Wilderness Medicine Beyond First Aid by William W. Forgy, M.D. Hawke's Green Beret Survival Manual is widely for sale online as well as big box retailers. I recently saw this book for sale in Walmart for $14. At that price, this information is practically being given away. Hawke's Green Beret Survival Manual received 5 solid stars. It was highly engaging and memorable. The author avoids dull scenarios and provides the reader with an informal writing style and personal accounts that will not only shock you, but keep you coming back for more. And although there is room for improvement, no survival bookshelf should be without this book. It is well written and solidly researched. Highly recommended. Check it out. Thanks for watching the Survival Bookshelf, and stay tuned for more.